Hi class, this week we're going to take our Unit 1 exam, and there's also a Unit 1 hands-on activity that's due. Both of these assignments should be available in Canvas. I'm going to scroll down here and click on Week 4 to go to our module. Now, in our hands-on, the requirements again are in a repl course, and I'm going to go to that in just a minute, and we'll make sure that everybody's being able to work with repl. Now you will submit this just like a regular assignment using the program submission document. The class has just been doing a great job getting all of that taken care of. Now your exam itself will be due next Tuesday, like all of our other assignments, as will the hands-on. In the exam, I'm going to allow you to use the resource of the collaborative document, the Unit 1 exam, which of course in my test mode I can't get to. So if you're getting an error message like this, please let me know. I know why I'm getting it, but you probably don't and you shouldn't. So we'll make sure and get that fixed if there are any problems. Now I'm going to go back to the modules section and kind of review the assignment for our exam. You can tell I've got lots of hidden things in Canvas. Just like you, I haven't clicked on the complete button in the right place. But I want to go to that repl course. So I'll just bring up repl. I already have it up here. I was looking at somebody's code. In our repl course, we'll be looking at one of the last ones. And this is number 4 for week 4, and it just has 2 assignments. If I look at those 2 assignments, we have the week 3 assignment and the week 4 hands-on exam for Unit 1. I'm showing people, and I don't mean to. We have people that are already completed. Good job. Now in this one, you're going to create a countdown app that counts down from a given integer. You don't have to do any sort of time-related functionality with this. Just start with an integer that you will prompt the user for, and then count down from that integer to the number 1 and issue the message stopped. This should be a pretty simple loop using repl. I know some people have been experiencing problems with repl, so I'm going to bring up someone's assignment. I hope they don't mind. It's one of those ones that you guys are all working on. I think our problem might be that we have so many people enrolled in our course, but repl is definitely being super slow for me as well as it is for you sometimes, I know. So I'm going to go down to the invoice up with the switch statement, and I'm going to look at this one program that is awaiting help. Hope Jay doesn't mind. The reason I wanted to bring up this one is because if I try to run it in repl, or run the code, oh, earlier this morning it was just running forever and ever and never doing anything. When I refreshed and reloaded repl, it seems to have fixed it. So be aware, sometimes if you've been logged on for a while, you might have to refresh or do something to get repl to respond to you again. Everything looks good, so it's running okay. Now, what I wanted to show you though is if you can't get repl to respond, because I know we've had some issues, what can you do in NetBeans to take care of this easily? So I have NetBeans open here. I'm going to close out of the projects that I have open before I show them to you. And restart NetBeans so you can see what it looks like from scratch. So I have a nice clean NetBeans here. I've closed all projects so I have nothing sitting exposed. What I'm going to do is copy this code so that I have it. and that's from repl. And then in NetBeans, I'm going to create a new project. I want this to be a Java project, so I'll click Next. Now, on this screen where I'm creating the project, I have a few options that can be really helpful in copying things over from repl. So I'll make this be test invoice. And right here where it says create a main class, by default, NetBeans puts a package name and then a dot and a class name for the class that it's going to create that will contain our main method. That can be a little bit more than repl likes, and our package statement can be kind of confusing and cause us some errors. So in NetBeans, if you just uncheck that box, NetBeans won't create a main class for you at all. Well, that's a little extreme. So what we can do is check the box, but then replace the name. So I'm going to replace both names with just my name, main, because repl really likes that class name of main. So once I do that, I'll click Finish. And now when the project opens up empty in NetBeans, my class name is already set to main. My Java file is named main. So I can easily select everything in NetBeans and paste my code from repl. Now, if you notice, since I did it that way, correctly naming my main class the way repl likes it, I don't have any errors to resolve or anything. Now, since that code was running in repl, we know it's okay, but it's been giving Jay a hard time and me, so I'm going to run it in NetBeans. Put something in and see that indeed it does work properly, so I can do everything the way I like. Now, as an instructor, of course, I need things to be submitted in repl because that's where our test cases are set up. I don't know if repl is experiencing issues just because it's the beginning of the semester and it's a great product and there are a lot of people using it. I think that if it keeps experiencing so many problems, we won't have to worry about a lot of other people using it, right? They'll all give up. So that's totally a thing. I'll be working through this week on our Unit 2 material. And if we need to switch to hypergrade for grading, then I'll do that because we can switch back and forth. Remember, that's why I asked you to keep those codes. I hope you did. But I'd like to stay within repl because it is a much more usable interface, but it is causing us a little trouble. Please let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any feedback that's not super negative. If it is super negative, if you could just enclose it in some professional language so that it doesn't sound too angry, that would be great. Okay, I think you guys, as I said, have done a great job getting through this material, and I'll be looking around and let me know if there's any issues, any items you'd like to talk about. Before the exam, we will have our Zoom meeting on Monday night so that we can work through any sort of problems that anybody's having. I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks.